a little girl named Lucinda stood quietly, facing the sun. A strange, eerie, whispering sound echoed in her ears. Surprisingly, only Lucinda could hear this sound. Just then, their teacher, Miss Taylor, arrived and asked everyone to return to class. The other students rushed to their classrooms, but Lucinda remained there, lost in her thoughts. However, Miss Taylor somehow managed to bring her inside. Miss Taylor reminded all the children that their school's opening ceremony would be held tomorrow, and a competition had been arranged for the occasion. In this competition, all the children were asked to draw an imaginary picture showing how they thought the world would look in the next 50 years. Just then, Miss Taylor brought out a time capsule, which made all the children very excited. The time capsule was a container that would hold all their drawings. It would be buried underground, and after 50 years, the capsule would be taken out to see which child's drawing best matched the future. In fact, it was Lucinda who had suggested the idea of a time capsule to her teachers during another competition held a month earlier. Miss Taylor praised Lucinda for this and began the competition. After that, all the children started working on their drawings. During this competition, some imagined space travel in the future, while others drew a robotic age. When the competition ended, Miss Taylor began collecting all the drawings, but she noticed something unusual. Lucinda hadn't drawn a picture. Instead, she had filled her entire paper with strange numbers, writing them non-stop. It seemed as if she had no control over her hands. Lucinda was about to write all the way to the edge of the paper, when Miss Taylor snatched it away. Lucinda stared at her with a distressed gaze. The story then moves to the next day, when the school's opening ceremony was being celebrated. Miss Taylor saw Lucinda standing sadly, holding a balloon, away from the rest of the children. Meanwhile, the time capsule containing all the drawings was buried in the ground. At the same time, Lucinda suddenly disappeared, and only her balloon was seen floating in the sky. Alarmed, Miss Taylor immediately called the police and began searching for Lucinda throughout the school. After much effort, Miss Taylor found Lucinda in the gym. She was bruised, and her fingers were covered in blood. She had scratched more numbers onto the door with her fingernails. Seeing this, Miss Taylor's eyes widened in shock. The same whispering sound still echoed in Lucinda's ears, and she couldn't understand what was happening to her. With this, the story moves forward 50 years, to the year 2009. Here we are introduced to a professor named John, who studies astrophysics. John is a widower. His wife had passed away a few years earlier, and since then, he had been living alone with his son, Caleb. Being a single father often made him feel overwhelmed by his responsibilities toward his son. One day, after giving a lecture at college, John was about to have coffee with his friend Phil, when he suddenly remembered that he had to go to his son's school for its 50th anniversary celebration. He immediately rushed to Caleb's school. It turned out that this was the same elementary school where the time capsule had been buried 50 years earlier. Today, the capsule was being dug out, much to the excitement of all the children and teachers. Miss Taylor, now an old woman, was invited as the chief guest. After her speech, the time capsule was opened, and envelopes containing the children's drawings were distributed among the students. Coincidentally, Caleb received the envelope that once belonged to Lucinda. When he opened it, he found a list of numbers written by her. While trying to decipher the numbers, John hears the same whispering sound, just like Lucinda, echoing in his ears. Just then, he notices an unknown man standing a short distance away, staring at him. Suddenly, something distracts him, and when he looks back, the man has vanished. The man's sudden disappearance leaves John confused.